nails. My nail polish is horrible right now. It's horrid. Please ignore it. About a week ago, I had a dream about getting shot in the head. Wait, let me give a little background. Okay, so since like I was in high school, I always loved to do like these miniature like semi-analyzations of my dreams because it's kind of like my thing. I really loved doing it. It helped me understand myself, especially as a young kid in high school or heading to college. At that time, it was important for me to understand what was going on in my psyche and my subconscious, because it was a reflection of what was going on in my emotions, things that probably I was suppressing or only half expressing. So I'm happy that I got into that because it definitely helped me in a lot of ways. It helped me repair relationships. It helped me understand why relationships didn't happen. And relationships meaning like friendships and family related things, like, you know, not just intimate related. And even like when it comes to like certain people I enjoy to be around or certain people I prefer to be around, it has a lot to do with that too. Like there's things inside of my head that I prefer that sometimes I don't even realize I prefer. A dream is just a way of putting pictures to your feelings. And because it's kind of like in the middle of your conscious and your subconscious, right? So it's a mixture of the two, because your dreams are made up of memories or things that are actually real. So things that you see every day or things that you feel every day, those are real things, but it happens while you're sleeping. The dream in itself isn't real, but what it represents is real. Also, dreams could be, for a lot of people who are very spiritually inclined, can be like foreshadows, like people who could like see the future and stuff, or see stuff that's very relative to that. I've had experience like that too when I was in high school. To give a brief synopsis of the dream that I had, I was definitely in high school. I could tell by like how the classroom was set up. I was in a classroom, and basically the scene was like a school shooting. Remember the tables, how high school tables are? It's like you don't really have any space, but you do. And I remember hearing gunshots and like outside of the room, so like in the hallways and stuff, and people were screaming, and everyone in the classroom, we kind of like tried to barricade the door with like the tables and chairs and stuff. And I couldn't really recognize the people that were around me. It was like girls, guys, like it was teachers and stuff, but I couldn't really recognize them, meaning like personal life, like I didn't know them personally. In the classroom, it was really, really weird. It was like a gazebo looking thing inside of the classroom. Very weird, but it's a dream. So it was a gazebo type of thing. Somehow the shooter got into the classroom. He started shooting people in the room, and that was very graphic. And I climbed on top of the gazebo, and I was basically like hiding on the top of the gazebo, because the gazebo is like, you know, the thing that you kind of get into. It's like a little tiny little umbrella thing. You know, you could stand under it, look cute. I climbed on top of the gazebo, and I was holding on to it. But it wasn't really nothing to hold on to. It was like a little thing that was at the top of the little umbrella looking top of the gazebo. That's kind of what I was holding on to, and I was holding on. I was holding on for dear life. I was holding on so hard, and I was slipping. The shooter was about to walk out of the room, and I'm still like holding on. I was praying. I was like, Lord, please let me hold on, please, please. Started to slip, and you know that sound when like skin slides against like plastic. So that's what happened. Like my thigh had rubbed against like the top of it, and it made a sound. So the shooter turned around and kind of like was looking around and saw me, started shooting like on a, you know, just around, because he couldn't see me. I fell down. He walked over to me, and I'm just like looking up at him, and he had the gun. I couldn't really tell who he was. He was like wearing all black, kind of like covered up. He was like bloody, like he had the gun, like it was hot. It was touching my forehead. Like he got so close. He was so angry. He was just like talking about like how like he was trying to get away, like You think you can control things, like you think that you have control. You don't have any control. Like, I control this. I wasn't saying anything. I was just like praying, and then he shot me. It felt so real. Like, I felt my neck snap back from like the pressure. The gun was so close to my head, the pressure of it, and it was like I felt pain. I didn't feel pain. Like, I felt the initial pain, and it was gone. Like, it was like pain dark, and that's it. Like, it was so fast. Oh my God, it was so crazy. And then I woke up. I didn't wake up from my sleep. I woke up in my dream. So like, it was like another scene in my dream. So I woke up and I was in the classroom, but it was like it didn't happen in the classroom. Like, I was in the classroom, I woke up and I was like bugging out. Yeah, so I woke up for real, out of the dream. And I was just, it was really hard for me to go back to sleep because I was looking at the dream on the surface. Like, I started to feel unsafe. I felt sad. I felt scared, and that's not what the dream was about. Eventually, when I started to think about it and analyze it, and I didn't make a video initially right away, meaning like the next day, because sometimes it takes a little bit for me to ingest what exactly am I looking at, to make sure I remember every aspect of the dream and really look at it from different angles. Firstly, when it comes to dreams, you, anyone else that's looking at it, you are the creator. It is coming from your memory, it is coming from your emotions. It's very liberating to come to the conclusion or to conclude what exactly may be happening, right? But dreams are just representations of whatever is going on in your head, and it's just a fabrication of reality. Even when you see things that are real, like different things that I saw, like mass shootings are real. They happen in real life. People do die in real life from mass shootings. People do duck for cover when it comes to that. Unfortunately, people do commit these horrible crimes when it comes to mass shootings. Those things are real. So it's not like I never ever knew about mass shootings before I had a dream about a mass shooting. So I also, when I started to think about this and analyze this, I started to remember that I also had a dream maybe a couple months ago about getting shot in the head too. And it was kind of a mass shooting scene, but I was with my family. If you ever had a dream before, I don't know, I mean, for the most part, I never did. But I never really had a dream showing currency, like money, like physical money, me giving money to something, like, because I mean you could have money isn't real in your dream, but it is a representation of like what money really is, which is just value. So when I thought about that comparison, it's the same thing with death, because I didn't actually die in real life. I just died in my dream, and then I didn't really die in my dream. I woke back up. So death must not really mean death in my dream. It may not just be the surface of that. It may be something. Usually when people think of death, they're trying to get rid of, or it's like the end of something. And if someone else is shooting me, maybe I'm trying to get rid of or end something within me. And I didn't realize this until I remembered that I had a dream before about getting shot in the head, and I was with my family. And to tie into what I was saying before about suppressing feelings, when you suppress certain things about yourself, there's things about all of us, everyone, that we don't like. And maybe there are things about myself that I don't like, or maybe that I'm not particularly happy about, that I'm trying to get rid of. But there's no, technically there's no way of actually getting rid of something, right? You have to work through things. You can't just like kind of like throw it away. And it's like the yin and yang thing, like it's balance. So there will be things, weaknesses, or things that you may consider bad about yourself. But there are still good things, and you need the two to balance. You need the two to understand the other. So if I didn't have weaknesses, if I didn't have things about me that I may not necessarily like about myself, I wouldn't be able to recognize the things that I do like about myself. this is what I started to understand. Now, when it comes to my personal, it could be because of intimate relationship. It could be because of a certain situation, or a certain situation that I'm in now, or certain things that I don't have control over, because that's specifically what the shooter said. He says, you think that you have control, blah, blah, blah. Why would he say that to me? Why would he say, you think that you have control? Just because I was trying to avoid him. I was trying to save my own life. I was trying not to get shot. Maybe that meant that I was trying not to like face these different things about myself that I don't like. Maybe I'm trying to, like, instead of face them, I'm hiding them, I'm suppressing them. And you know, he said to me, you think that you can control things? You can't control anything. I control it. I think the shooter was a part of me that's trying to throw the things that I don't like about myself away, rather than just dealing with it. So like, there's people that are like, all the time they try to make themselves a better person, but they try to make themselves a better person by forcing themselves to be something that they're not, like, or they force themselves into doing things or being something that they're not, and then thinking that them being a better person will follow after that. That's not the process of growth. You don't force something and then expect it to happen, or expect it to work after. Or forcing doesn't create genuine outcomes. So those were the elements of me. Trying to hide from the shooter was me just trying to hide from my own feelings, and then the shooter was me trying to force something when it doesn't need to be forced. And these were different feelings that I was fighting all at once at a very heightened level that caused me to have such an extreme dream. I'm feeling much better about it now, and I understand it better, and I'm working on it. But yeah, that was that, and I just really wanted to share it because it's important, and I know a lot of people probably dealing with that and maybe don't understand that. And it's really important to interpret your dreams, because if you want to be aware of your emotional self or your mental self, you have to realize that your dreams are also your emotional self. So thanks for watching. I hope you guys like it. Please subscribe. I'll see you later.